This is the Star Wars Rebels Mission Series number 1 2-pack featuring Zeb and the Stormtrooper. Let's have a quick look at the packaging. The set is part of the first wave of this new Star Wars Rebels Mission Series look. And here's the rest of the assortment. Obviously, these are figures that are from the original 6 movies, and this is the only pack that features characters from the new cartoon on the Disney Channel or Disney XD. Here in Manila, we get it at the Disney Channel, featuring a band of bandits, a band of rebels, small rebels starting the rebellion. Events that take place between episode 3 and episode 4. And if you've seen my haul video, my latest haul video before this film, I mentioned that it was a brilliant move on the part of Disney or Star Wars to actually do a cartoon, to reboot the. I thought the Clone Wars was great. I felt bad that they had to cancel it and start a new one. But I thought it was. But now looking back on hindsight, I thought it was very, very good. A brilliant move to sort of try and bring back the elements of the original trilogy, episode 4, 5, and 6, back into this sort of time where the fans of that particular era had all grown up, and then there's a batch of new young fans that are, being introduced to this new sort of Star Wars universe. And it's an interesting way to bring back elements of the old trilogy, episode 4, 5, and 6. We get to see the makings of the rebellion, how the Empire is terrorizing and being a tyrant, essentially just having a chokehold on the entire galaxy, and how bad the Empire has become. You've seen the Stormtroopers, the TIE fighters, and it's really nice. It's a very refreshing feel to it without trying to bring back the old movies directly. This is a nice way to introduce the new young fans to that era of Star Wars. So anyway, on to the figures. The figures are, sadly, just your basic 5 points of articulation type of figures. And I think Hasbro wanted this, since it's based off the cartoon, and since they're doing it in the Mission series, they really targeted this particular line of figures to the younger audience, who I think they've underestimated. Despite being young, they do appreciate articulation. But sadly, we get these figures. However, with that being said, let's not take away the fantastic sculpt that Hasbro has done for these figures, and I'm just really, really liking the sculpt. I wish they could have put more articulation, yes, but the sculpt, accessories, paint apps, they're actually not that bad. Now, let me give you a bit of a size comparison, just so you have an idea, because the first Mission series, I did buy a Mission series pack a couple months ago, which was Darth Maul and Obi-Wan. They were relatively small, and just a bit undersized, and they don't exactly fit in with the regular Star Wars figures. Now here's a regular released Stormtrooper. This is, I think, from the Saga Legends, or not the Black Series, not the Vintage Collection either, but one of those figures, one of those lines after the Vintage Collection. And this is the one that has a ton of articulation. This is the one that's meant for collectors. Yeah, and some kids too do appreciate this kind of figure. And as you can see, side by side, they're in great scale, and which I really, really appreciate that Hasbro has tried to do that. And I hope they continue to do it with the other figures, because if you're just starting out your collection, you're trying out Star Wars, you're really not into, you're just beginning your collection of figures, these are a nice way to enter the Star Wars universe toys, because they're inexpensive, pack, a 2-pack, costs about the same as one vintage collection figure, thereabouts. So they're about basically half the price, which rightly so. But it's a nice way to get to introduce your kids, maybe to somebody who's new to Star Wars, into the whole universe of the Star Wars. So let's start with the Stormtrooper. He's very thin. This is the beginnings of what the Stormtrooper would look like, and if you notice, the animation they've put a little bit stylized. It's a little bit cartoony, very little details on it, but it is a Stormtrooper, and I'm really liking it. So sculpt on this one, very accurate to the cartoon. Same with Zeb. Zeb is a Lasat. If you haven't been watching the show, he is the last of a race of proud, really huge, muscle creatures. He's got the Australian accent, interestingly enough. So he's a Lasat. He's like the muscle of the group. He's sometimes the comic relief. Yeah, and he's I didn't really like him in the beginning, but he's sort of grown on me. So anyway, here he is. Great detail on him. I wish they could have done another version of this one with 16 points of articulation and whatnot. So both these figures share the same amount of articulation, 5 points. A swivel neck, swivel shoulders, and swivel hips. That's it. They do come with accessories. Stormtrooper blaster rifle, DC. Is it the DC or the E11? I don't know. Not sure. The sculpt is a little bit too thin. Could be an E11, could be a DC-19. Anyway, we'll see. I'm not sure. And then Zeb comes with his weapon. I'm not sure if when on the show, if you watch him, he's got this double, is like a bow. He's like a staff that has electrical shock thingies, like stunners, like taser on either ends. That's used to stun the opponent. It's like a huge staff like that extends. So I'm not sure if this is the one, because this one is meant to look like a gun. Be interesting if they'd give them that. So paint apps on the figures, they're okay. They're as good as can be. I mean, they're not perfect. Paint apps are easily just at best an 8 out of 10, maybe a 7. The white, again, there's some scratching here and there. On the face, on the face sculpt, you get to see some blemishes here and there, but that's okay for toys for the younger generation. They're not that bad. So there you go, folks. I hope you've enjoyed this video review. If you did, please click the thumbs up icon at the bottom. Follow me on Twitter for my toy purchases, Instagram for my toy sightings here in Manila. Check out all my video reviews on this channel, Chefatron. This has been the Star Wars Rebels Mission Series number 01 featuring Zeb and the Stormtrooper. Thanks for watching.